There we go. Okay, when listening, you can see you want to gently close the eardrums here. So you got the little knob there, and just before that, you gently put your finger on there and close the ear canal there, and you can, kind of go back and forth and like this, and play with the pressure until you get the best sound there, the best roar of your bliss consciousness there. There. So just holding them gently shut there, and listen to the roar of your bliss consciousness there, that is spontaneous and constant, permanent there. It's free and there for you to listen to yourself at any time there. Free for you to listen anytime to the roar of your bliss consciousness there. And you can do this while, sitting, laying down, walking around there. One finger if you're doing something with the other hand there. And while you're listening to the roar of your bliss consciousness there, just listen to that, and notice that while you have your eyes closed, and while you have your eyes open, unchanging. As with, if you practice meditation there for any length of time, there you can start to feel like it's more comfortable and you're more in meditation if your eyes are closed there, like it's a safer zone there with your eyes closed. That's why just listen to the roar there, and eyes open, eyes closed, and you notice that it's the same, that the roar of your bliss consciousness is the same. It hasn't fluctuated in its vibration there, or lowered the volume or it's the same. Excuse me. It's the same. And that way you can start to experience that everything is made out of the roar of your bliss consciousness. And you can, along with listening to, if you like, by listening to the roar of your bliss consciousness, you get to know yourself as a birthless, immortal, self-luminous being of bliss consciousness. This is how to hang out with yourself and get to know yourself as an individual, birthless, self-luminous, permanent, overwhelmingly intoxicating being of bliss consciousness there. And it's free, and you can visit, be with yourself, so to speak, at any time. You already are anyway. And now you can listen to the roar of your bliss consciousness there. See how it's the same whether your eyes are open or closed. And you start to realize that everything, your body and everything in your world, is made out of the roar of your bliss consciousness. All words, all thoughts, all form, all sound, everything you experience is made out of the roar of your bliss consciousness. Everything is made out of you, a birthless, immortal, self-luminous, overwhelmingly intoxicating being of bliss consciousness. And the same for everyone. Everyone is a birthless, immortal, self-luminous being of bliss consciousness. In perfect operational order there. You're a being of bliss consciousness right now, whether you do this or not. There, whether you gently close your eardrums and listen to the roar of your bliss consciousness, regardless of whether you do that or not, or meditate there, or do this or don't do that, you already are a being of bliss consciousness. There, an individual, birthless, immortal, self-luminous, overwhelmingly intoxicating being of bliss consciousness. Any doubts about that are simply thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness. And it is thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness that we have lived with and by our whole lives there. So it's any thought, anything that tells you that this is bullshit there. Any thoughts telling you that you're, grading and degrading you, even ones that are pumping you up, there are all thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness. There. Just listen to the roar of your bliss consciousness to get to know yourself. Just listen to the roar, of your bliss consciousness to get to know yourself as an individual, birthless, immortal, self-luminous, overwhelmingly intoxicating being of bliss consciousness, all-powerful, all-knowing, infinitely creative, supremely beautiful, and intensely enticing. There, just listen to them and watch thoughts just dissolve back into them. Anything other than them that you listening to. Just anytime you find that you're listening to thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness, there, just just start listening to the roar of your bliss consciousness again, and you'll notice that there's no damning for having listened to thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness. There's no crucifixion for listening to thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness. There's no karma for listening to thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness. There. Just spontaneous and constant, permanent, birthless, self-luminous, spontaneous bliss. Spontaneously expressing and expanding your bliss consciousness. You're nervous about this, so you're fearful about this, you're angry about this or that. There, just close your ears and listen to the roar of your bliss consciousness. And know yourself. And know yourself as a being of bliss consciousness. And know bliss. And know bliss. So with this, you can immediately have direct experience of yourself as a birthless, immortal, self-luminous, overwhelmingly intoxicating being of bliss consciousness. Immediate, direct experience of yourself as an individual, birthless, immortal, self-luminous being of bliss consciousness there. And it's by knowing through direct experience of bliss there that you are able to start identifying thoughts that lead away from bliss consciousness there. And then you can go, oh, okay, I was writing a thought that leads away from bliss consciousness. Okay, I was listening to a thought that leads away from bliss consciousness. Okay. All the answers are here because you are all-knowing as well as all-powerful. You are all-knowing as well as all-powerful. And open and close your eyes so you can realize that the of your bliss consciousness does not stop when you open your eyes. Is going on whether you're holding your eardrums or not. If you have what they call tinnitus, where you can hear ringing and buzzing in your ears, listen to that all the time. Outside of listening, Ram mantra, Ram, not Ram, 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 Ram. You can do that, but dive in. Ram, 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 Ram leads to hearing them of your bliss consciousness. Lots of love, lots of love.